Hello everyone and welcome back to another QuickBooks online tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to add a general ledger account to our chart of accounts. Now I'm going to give you two examples here. One is just going to be a straight easy expense general ledger account, and the other one's going to be an associated or a child account or a sub account rather to an asset account that we've already created in our chart of accounts. So once again, to get to where we want to go, we look to the left-hand side portion of our screen. And to access our chart of accounts, we hover over the accounting tab, and you see that little pop-up window to the right, and we'll move over and we will select chart of accounts. And we're here. Now the first account that we want to add is in our exercise, the company at Green Hill Landscape had purchased a truck. It was a Ford truck, and we added that to our assets. And now what we want to do is we want to create a depreciation general ledger account so that we've got something to expense when we're amortizing or depreciating the cost of the vehicle over a fixed number of years. So as always, to create a new account, we go over to the right-hand side where it says New, select New, and we're back to this screen again. Again, very important what we're selecting here. So the account type, as I mentioned, this is going to be an expense. So we'll want to scroll down and we will select expenses. So the account type for this particular account is expenses. The detail type, hit our drop down menu, and let's see if we can find something here that will capture that. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything here that actually has an amortization or a depreciation description. So that's fine. I'll go down and use a generic expense for that. And I'll select Office General Administrative Expenses. Okay. Now in the name, we're just going to we'll just call this amortization. And I'm going to give it two names, amortization and depreciation. As I mentioned in class, these two words are used interchangeably. They're interchangeably when an asset is being depreciated or amortized. So this isn't a sub-account of anything. So before we hit save and close, we'll just reconfirm everything we've done. So the account type is expenses. We've just put it to Office General Administrative Expenses, and we called it Amortization Depreciation. All right, and we'll hit Save and Close. Okay, we can see here that the Amortization Depreciation account has been saved. And if we scroll down on our screen, we should be able to see it here. And there it is, it's sitting right here. Amortization Depreciation is the name, the type is expense, and the detail type is Office General Administration. Okay? Now, the next account that we want to create is what's called an accumulated depreciation account. So what happens is when we post a journal entry to record that expense, that's going to be our debit. Our offsetting transaction, which I'll show in a later video tutorial, the credit side is going to go into an accumulated depreciation account, and it's going to be a sub-account of the actual asset, the Ford truck, much in the way that the debit cards that we set up for John and Alice were linked to the bank account. If you recall looking at your balance sheet, the total net amount remaining on the balance sheet for the Toronto Savings and Loan account was the actual bank account minus the two debit cards by John and Alice, the charges or expenses rather that they put through on those cards. Then there was a bottom total on there. So not too much about that right now. Let's just get in and set this account up. And then as we create the journal entries, you'll see how this all comes together. All right, so let's go back up to the top of our screen. Again, same as always. On the right-hand side, we're going to select New. And the account type. Now this is going to be, because we are linking it to the truck asset, which falls under property, plant, and equipment as a capital asset, that's what we're going to select. Now you can see here that the detail type it's already defaulted to accumulated amortization, and that's exactly what we want. And in fact, where it says here, under the name accumulated amortization, we can just go to the right of that and just add a little bit more to it. Ford truck. All right, because that's what it's going to be applied to. Now, very important, we want to go down here in the is a sub-account. Let's check that box, and now let's go find that asset, that Ford truck that we want to attach this to. Okay, so if you go down over here, and we will just scroll down over our assets, and you can see I've got mine right here. So here's the Ford truck, the asset, and you can see on the right it says property, plant, and equipment. That's what we want to attach this to. All right, so before we hit save and close, let's always recheck. The account type is property, plant, and equipment. The detail type is accumulated amortization. That's what we want. For the name, we left it as accumulated amortization, and we just added Ford truck. We selected as a sub-account of the Ford truck. And now we will save and close. And we can see that that account has now been saved. And the next video under journal entries, I'm going to go through a few things. One, how we calculate the depreciation on the truck, and then how to actually create the journal entry to account for the depreciation against that truck. Until then, thanks for joining me here, and we'll see you soon in the next video.